a slow breath. Tonight's story begins with a notification. A small one, quiet, almost forgettable, but it arrived at 12:03 a.m. and it shouldn't have existed at all. Lena Morales was 31 years old. She lived alone in a modern apartment building in Brookhaven. She worked in digital marketing, organized, methodical, predictable. She kept spreadsheets for everything, including her passwords. And that's why what happened next made no sense. At 12:03 a.m. on April 18th, Lena's phone buzzed. New login detected. The device location, her own apartment. But Lena wasn't awake because Lena had died earlier that evening. At 6:40 p.m., Lena was found unresponsive in her living room. No signs of forced entry, no visible injuries. Paramedics ruled it a sudden cardiac event, natural causes. It was tragic, but not suspicious. Her laptop sat open on the coffee table, her phone on the kitchen counter, a smartwatch still on her wrist. Nothing disturbed, nothing missing. Her family mourned, friends posted tributes. Life moved forward until the login alert. The notification wasn't discovered immediately. It was her younger brother, Matteo, who found it 2 days later while helping pack her belongings. He was cancelling subscriptions, closing accounts, handling digital loose ends when he saw it. New device logged into your account. Timestamp 12:03 a.m. Device name unknown. IP address local. He assumed it was a glitch until he checked the activity log. The login wasn't just recorded. It had performed actions. It had accessed her cloud storage, downloaded 3 files, and then logged out at 12:11 a.m. 8 minutes of activity after her death had already been confirmed. Police initially dismissed it. Automatic sync, delayed server record. But Matteo insisted something felt wrong. Lena was obsessive about security, 2-factor authentication, biometric locks, randomized passwords. She once changed her Wi-Fi name because she thought it was too guessable. Someone logging in wasn't just unlikely, it was almost impossible, unless they were inside the apartment using her device. Investigators pulled rotor-data from the building. At 12:02 a.m., Lena's Wi-Fi network registered a connection, a new device. Signal strength, very close, inside the unit, but surveillance cameras in the hallway showed no one entering or exiting after 8:17 p.m. The apartment door was locked from the inside when paramedics arrived. Deadbolt engaged, chain latched, no window tampering. And yet, at 12:03 a.m., something connected. Digital forensics revealed what files were downloaded. One was a folder labeled Personal. Another was titled Contracts. The third was simply named Notes. The Notes folder contained dozens of short documents, random thoughts, observations, reminders. But one file stood out. It was created 3 days before her death, untitled, just a date. When investigators opened it, the document was nearly empty, except for one sentence. I think someone else has access. No elaboration, no explanation, just that line. Matteo remembered something. 2 weeks earlier, Lena had mentioned strange behavior on her laptop. The camera light flickering, tabs opening slowly, music pausing without input. He told her it was probably malware. She laughed it off, but she did place a small piece of tape over her webcam afterward. Investigators checked the laptop. The tape was still there, unmoved, which raised a new question. If someone accessed her account at 12:03 a.m. from inside the apartment, what device were they using? Because her laptop had been powered off at 9:12 p.m. Her phone battery had died at 10:47 p.m. and no other registered devices belonged to her. outside Lena's unit registered motion just once, 4 seconds. Then darkness again. No camera footage captured it. The motion sensor was partially out of frame, but the system log confirmed activation. Someone or something had been near her door 5 minutes before the login. Police re-examined the paramedic body cam footage at 6:46 p.m. when responders first entered the apartment. The camera briefly panned across the living room. Near the bookshelf, behind a plant, a small black object, unfamiliar. It wasn't there during earlier apartment photos taken months prior. Forensics returned to search again. Behind the bookshelf, wedged against the wall, they found a tiny device, a Wi-Fi repeater, unregistered, battery-powered, capable of extending network range or intercepting signals, and someone had installed it inside her home without her knowledge. Drugs as of Mercedes. The repeater's serial number had been partially scratched off, but technicians recovered fragments. It had been purchased online, delivered to a locker pickup location 3 blocks away, paid in cash, but security footage from the locker facility revealed a detail investigators almost missed. A man wearing a dark jacket, cap pulled low, collecting a package, and in his reflection on the locker door, a faint glow, like a phone screen facing outward, recording. As the investigation widened, detectives interviewed neighbors. One woman mentioned hearing a faint knock around midnight that night. Soft, almost polite. But when she looked through her peephole, no one was there. Another neighbor recalled seeing someone in the stairwell earlier that week, standing still, not moving, as if listening. But when confronted, the person walked away calmly. No rush, no fear. Then came the final discovery. Lena's smartwatch, initially assumed inactive, but when synced to forensic software, it revealed heart rate data. At 11:59 p.m., her heart rate spiked briefly from resting baseline to elevated, then flat again. But she had been declared deceased hours earlier, which meant one of two things. Either the watch malfunctioned or someone touched her wrist, moved her arm, triggered the sensor 3 minutes before the login. The case quietly shifted from natural causes to undetermined. No forced entry, no clear suspect, but undeniable digital presence. Something logged in, something downloaded files, something connected from inside the apartment. After midnight, after she was gone, the account is never logged in again. The downloaded files were never traced. The repeater device yielded no DNA, and the man in the locker footage was never identified. Lena's apartment has since been rented to someone new. They say sometimes the hallway motion light still flickers without anyone there, just once, for a few seconds, after midnight. If you're listening to this quietly, in your own space, notice the devices around you. Your router, your phone, the small lights that blink without explanation. Most of us assume they're harmless, automatic, passive. But sometimes, a connection doesn't mean what we think it means. Sometimes it means someone else is connected too. Take a slow breath and check your recent login activity just in case.